Hello, everybody. It's me, the one and only Benjamin Miller, here to play some 2K and sort of do a podcast. So let's get into it. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of do a state of the NBA and how everything is going, what my thoughts are on the season so far, sort of a mid-season review of sorts, because we got the All-Star game coming up and we have the trade deadline coming up. And first things first, I know a lot of people are gonna want to ask me about this. Yes, I do play in this view on 2K. I like it better. Uh, the game actually, when you start it, it defaults you to this view, and so I always, just since I was a kid, have played from this view. But I realize that some other people don't think that this is the right way to play, and they like the quote 2K view. I get that. I've played in that in Blacktop, and when I play with my friends, I have to play in that view. But I don't know. I just like this one because I feel like I can see the whole court better. Um, so that's about that. Okay, so as far as the NBA so far, I am playing with my Minnesota Timberwolves. They haven't been doing great this year, but they've been doing okay considering Cat's been missing a lot of time. So maybe I'll start with talking about them a little bit. Um, Things that I like that I'm seeing: McDaniel's playing great. Um, I saw the stat the other day. He's the only NBA player to be averaging a steal a game, a block a game, and shooting over 40% from three. So, when all the pundits were like, oh, McDaniels, blah, 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 is he worth a pick or two in the Jazz deal? Yes, he was worth, I would say, two first round picks at this point. And as I brick another McDaniels three, so maybe in the game he's not worth that, but in real life he's playing great. Um, yeah, so other than that, the Gobert fit has been improving lately. Seems like Ant really has improved his chemistry with him. Um, I do want to talk about the Ant point guard thing a little bit. I feel like people are like, "Oh, point Ant, he's basically like the next like Luca or Trey Young, like just run the entire offense through him." And while I get that sentiment, um, I just don't think that he has a good enough handle right now, or that he's a good enough decision maker to warrant him sort of getting that treatment. Um, I think he has the potential, in like 3 years to be that kind of player, but I just don't think right now he has what it takes to be that kind of player. And so I think that this team really needs Cat. As much as people want to be like, oh, it's Ant's team, I still think Carl's the best player on the team. I know it's unpopular to say, but I do. I think Carl's the best player. He, was having a rocky start, but he hasn't had the last 20 games like the rest of them to get more enough flow with everything. But I really think he's the. This team was built with Cat in mind, and Cat being the centerpiece of it. That's why they traded for Gobert. And with that, I'm going to take a timeout to stop the bleeding and get some substitutions in. But um, yeah, I think that Cat really needs to be involved. I don't think that the solution, like a lot of people think, is just trade Cat and that'll fix it. No, I don't. I think that Cat is going to be better than whatever you get back for him. You don't really want a ton of picks at this point because you've told yourself you're in win now mode. There's a nice Austin Rivers 3-pointer. If you haven't listened to Austin Rivers' new podcast, it's pretty good. It's on the Ringer Podcast Network on Spotify. I tune into it. It's called Off Guard. I've listened to the first two episodes. Really like him a lot. But the thing that was really a difference maker on the Timberwolves improving lately is Taurean Prince coming back. He is one of the best role players on the team, and now that he's back in the fold, they have played a lot better lately. They lost the Denver game a couple nights ago, but truthfully, they should have won that game, and then they came back and beat a Raptors team that had a lot more rest than them, and they overcame a huge deficit. So in general, I think that's enough on the Wolves, but they're playing well. They're keeping their head above water. They're staying in the mix of a very crowded Western Conference. On any given night, they could go from like the 5 seed to the 12 seed. It feels like so they're properly staying in the mix, which is good. Let's see what else is going on in the NBA. We can talk about the Nuggets a little bit. This Nuggets team, I love every aspect of what they're doing. I think when they acquired Aaron Gordon in the bubble season, I believe it was. Yep, the bubble season. Or maybe no. It wasn't the bubble season. It was the season after that. The Suns Giannis season in the finals. They really had the best roster, and then you had Jamal Murray go out for basically the next season and a half. So he missed the 21 playoffs and he missed all of the 22 season, including the playoffs. And so this team was really ready to contend at that moment, in my opinion. And as a result of that injury, they weren't able to properly. So I I just think that now is their time. When people say who's better, them or the Grizzlies, in my opinion, it's definitely the Nuggets. The Grizzlies are a very good team. I guess while I'm on this, I can talk about them a bit. I just still don't think they actually have the playoff experience. And as much as people don't want to acknowledge it, Ja is a huge defensive liability. And I think that will come back to bite them. You could say, oh, well, Murray is in the playoffs as well for Denver. But I think they have. I just like KCP and Bruce Brown as people who can combat that. And even still, Murray is a better defender than Ja is. Ja is one of the worst defenders in the NBA. So let's just leave it at that. But Jokic is putting up video game numbers. He's definitely deserving of the third straight MVP if the league decides to give it to him. I just think they're rolling, and I don't really see anybody stopping them, at least in the Western Conference. All right, and even though I sort of disparage Anthony Edwards, I do have him in the game as point guard right now, so we'll see how that goes. Um, let's see here. Other teams I want to cover. Um, the Warriors are the most confounding thing in the NBA. Half the time they seem to be like the championship level team we know, and half the time they seem to be a bottom dweller, and that's ended up in I believe, 500 record as of today, Saturday. And they're just, super inconsistent. I think that's the biggest thing I notice about these Warriors. There's no consistency to what they're doing at any given time. It seems like the defense is sometimes good, sometimes atrocious. To be fair, they haven't had Steph for a while, but even before Steph was in the picture, they were really inconsistent, like all the time. So I don't think that they are the favorites in the Western Conference, like a lot of different betting outlets are still saying. I think it's like the Nuggets by far, in my opinion. But a lot of people still maintain the faith in the Warriors, and they keep citing the Celtics as the example of like, oh, last year the Celtics were 500 halfway through the season, and they made the NBA Finals. And they're saying like because of that, the Warriors can do it too. And I don't think that's a really good way to view things because that Celtics team was super special, and I don't think that's just like something that can be replicated at any given season. I think that was like a very particular instance of that being able to take place. Oh shoot, here's the KCP3. Let's see here. Some other things that I want to cover as far as teams and whatnot. The Kings. The Kings are awesome this season. The Fox Sabonis pairing is really clutch. And it seems like De'Aaron Fox was finally told, like, you are our franchise player, like, go be that guy. But then it's not like they haven't done that before, but they mixed that sentiment with a player like Sabonis, who, although he's a scorer, he actually is a lot of his game trying to be like Jokic light and set up a bunch of other guys. So finally, Fox has a dude who's trying to actually set him up game to game. What is Garza's 3-point? He's a C plus on 3-pointers. I thought he was better. Maybe I should stop trying to do pick and pops with Luka Garza. But anyways, what I meant to say is he's got all-star help around him, and it's not just that the all-star help is like another gunner. It's a player who's trying to set up De'Aaron Fox to succeed when Fox isn't on ball, which is very key for that team. I love Mike Brown. I love that he's finally getting some recognition. He was a coach of the freaking year, for goodness sake, and somehow people like underrated him, and he's been an assistant for basically a decade at this point, and he finally got another crack at being a coach of an NBA team, not just an assistant. So really happy for him. Sabonis is putting up, as I said earlier, just basically like some Jokic mini numbers where I'm seeing regularly stat lines of like 15, 15, and 15 from him, like points, rebounds, and assists. So love to see that. Going to take another time out here. And I really like the supporting pieces. The Kevin Herter trade was really solid. I don't know why the Hawks gave him away. I guess it was to avoid tax stuff, but to me, it was a really solid pickup for the Kings to flank Fox and Sabonis with shooters in him and Malik Monk, who was a good signing. And then you have still Harrison Barnes in the mix, who could still potentially be a trade chip if they're looking to upgrade. I'd be really interested to see if the Kings decide to go all in or if they kind of just ride this current team out and see what comes of it. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. Nathan Knight with some good energy there. He's up to 4 points. He's got his first rebound with that offensive rebound there. Austin Rivers trying to clamp up his former teammates. I shouldn't be the on-ball defender. I'm not very good at that. Oh, Aaron Gordon with the back alley, but there I am with Kyle Anderson to stop that and give a hard foul. Okay, what's some other teams that I'm interested in that I want to share my thoughts on? Celtics and Bucks, they're kind of just boring. Um, Celtics are playing awesome. They're continuing their great play from last year, and I think this really has to call into question how important is coaching in the NBA because Mazzulla, first-time head coach, had like a month's notice before the season started that he'd be a head coach, and he's doing great. And it seems like there's nothing missing between Ime Udoka and Mazzulla. So how important is coaching in the NBA? It's important, but sometimes with the best teams, it seems like it could be more like personality management and motivation versus maybe like X's and O's. But obviously, there's still X's and O's kind of stuff going on. But to me, the Mazzulla Ime Udoka situation goes to show that sometimes a head coach needs to be more of a motivator than like an X's and O's guy. Is he going to get that? Nope. Sorry, KCP, you had no feet set on that one. Okay, the Bucks, they're just spamming Giannis like it's a video game, and they're waiting for Chris Middleton to come back because they really don't have any perimeter creation. Drew Holiday's been really solid lately. He's putting up like 30 points a game when they need it from him. Nice little Noel three-pointer. By the way, Jalen Noel last year shot 42% from three. This year, 28%. A putrid downgrade. Really disappointing. So, video game might be a little inaccurate with giving him that good of a jump shot, but we'll take it. Okay, back to the Bucks. Yep, they need Middleton. Drew Holiday's been trying his best to be the primary on-ball creator. Brook Lopez is having a great defensive season. Going to double team Jokic here. Let's see if it helped. Yes, it did. Okay, Nathan Knight with a nice rebound. We're going to head into halftime. Let's see if we can tie this thing up. Who should we go to? Noel, maybe. Austin Rivers going to give him a little... Oh, no, we're not going to get it. Oh, unless we get Kyle Anderson 3. No. Okay. Otherwise, Philly playing awesome. Really like what we're seeing from them lately. Okay, weird that we got some noise there. I turned off all the game noise. Must be some crowd noise going on. So yeah, just thinking about Philly, Harden being back. The Maxey off the bench move seems to be really key because prior they would start Maxey, Harden, Embiid, Harris, Tucker, and then they'd sort of stagger and take Embiid off and maybe keep Harden in with Harris, and they'd take Embiid and Maxey off. And now it seems like they're doing more of a pair, Embiid and Harden, and let Maxey come in to sub for them. Anyway, Harden has completely embraced his pure point guard form, I guess is how you'd say it. He's going for stat lines more in the lane of like 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists versus like scoring 30, which, is a viable option for him. It certainly seems like it's what Philly needs. He has the best chemistry with Joel Embiid of any partner he's ever had as far as a running mate. And they really just seem like they've hit their stride. Now, to be fair, their schedule has been super easy, so it's not like they have been rolling through like the best in the league. They've been rolling through the likes of like Detroit and teams like that. But hey, in this current NBA, you can't overlook any teams. It seems like everybody's coming to play. And in years where you might have like 10 teams tanking, it seems like this year it's more like, I don't know, three teams tanking, like the Rockets, the Hornets, and the Pistons. It seems like everybody else is, to a degree, just really going for it. Um, anyways, getting sidetracked there, but um, really like what I'm seeing from from Philly, even though they've had an easy schedule lately. Otherwise, let's see here. Who are the teams that are catching my eye? I'm just going to run through some that are clearly not catching my eye. Once Cade went out, Detroit this season was boring to me. Like Jaden Ivey, I really like him as a player. I really like Sadiq Bey. Bogdanovich is playing good, but there's just not much to talk about with them, I feel like. Even though Detroit fans would probably yell at me and be like, there is a lot to talk about. Jalen Duren rocks. And I'd say, okay, sure, he rocks. I don't deny that. He's a really promising rookie, but there's just not a ton to talk about at the moment. Gobert with the clamps on Jokic. What are we seeing here? Gobert with a resurgence. Look at this. Blocks per game last season. Timberwolves were third. I think they're like 28th this year with Gobert, so that kind of sucks. Um, all right. Otherwise, what are we thinking about here? Um, other than that, OKC with Dagnalt as their head coach is really impressive, and there's a lot of people, kind of like the Kings, who are saying should the Thunder go for it and like make a trade at the deadline to try and get like a Bogdanovich and try and make the playoffs. And to me, I'd say no. I feel like as hard as it is, shut it down, tank for a worse draft pick, hope that you can get the likes of a Scoot Henderson or a Victor Wembanyama, and then next year you'll have a core of, let's say hypothetically they get the number one pick and they get Wemby. Then your starting lineup looks like Wemby, Chet, Dort, Giddy, and Shea. And that's one of the best lineups in the entire NBA, honestly. And I know people say like, oh, you're projecting, but if Chet and Wemby are able to give you, let's just be generous and say if they can each score 14 to 15 points a night, and Wemby can be as good on defense as people think he's going to be, I think that that's definitely like a 45 to 50 win team. Shea is so good, and Dort complements him really well. Giddy is a nice secondary ball handler. MPJ with a nice three there, dang. But otherwise, I don't love the bench, even though a lot of people love, oh, the two Jalen Williamses, they're both so good. Mike Muscala is the GOAT. not that extreme, but you know what I mean. But yeah, the bench is fine. I don't love it. Um, oh shoot, we got Jokic splashing it from three. That's no good for us. Um, other than that, let's see here. I love the Magic. I love them. I love Paolo. I really want to see what the Magic do. They're another team where people are saying, if they trade for a nice player like a Bogdanovich or like a good shooting guard, they could be in the playoff mix or the play-in mix. And to me, it's like, no, just wait another year. See if you can get a nice draft pick. Other than that, as I think about the state of the league, we've got um, in the East, the Bulls. I think everybody's just waiting for them to tear it up, or I should say, blow it up. Same sort of with the Raptors, who just dropped one to the Timberwolves after leading by 18 in that game. They lost, which is disappointing for them. But yeah, that team just blow it up. And I saw something the other day that was a really good point. Somebody said, the Raptors had in 2019, they had Kawhi, they had Danny Green, they had Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry, and then you had Van Vliet and Siakam. Those were like their main seven guys, you'd say. And after that season, they lost Kawhi to free agency. They lost Marc Gasol. Or no, they still had Gasol and Ibaka, but they lost Kawhi and Danny Green to free agency. And then the next season, they lost Gasol and they lost Ibaka to free agency, so they got nothing for those players. The next season, they traded Kyle Lowry for Precious Achiuwa. And so basically, you lost I should say all you got back for Lowry, Gasol, Ibaka, Danny Green, and Kawhi was Precious Achua. Those are five of the seven most important players on your title team, and you got basically nothing back for them, which is pretty disappointing, I would think, if you're a Raptors fan. Okay, can Nas body here? Oh, he can. Look at that, Nas Reid. I decided to play with injuries on as what they are in real life. So no Carl, and I think on this roster update, Torian Prince is still technically injured. So I sadly don't have Torian Prince either. Come on, Gobert. He's being like his real life self. He can't even block Jokic. What are we seeing? Um, anyways, back to teams that I'm really interested in. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the Raptors tangent went on that. The Heat feel like they're on this every other year trajectory where like in 2020 they went to the finals. In 2021 they lost in the first round. In 2022 they went to the conference finals. Now this year they feel like they're going to be a first round exit again. Um, so I don't know. They're old season. Kyle Lowry is sneakily one of the worst contracts in NBA history, in my opinion, at this point. He was injured basically all of the 2022 season. He showed up for the playoffs and was fat and slow. And this year, he's shooting, and he's old. That's so. Yeah, the Heat. I just don't really like anything that they're doing with their team. You know, Butler is at this point like 32, I believe, 33. He's getting up there. The only good thing they have going for them is Bam. Um, Bam and Hero, but even Hero feels vastly overpaid at this point, in my opinion. Um, okay, so other than them, two last teams I want to talk about, the Hawks and the Mavericks, two of my favorite teams. I find it very comedic and totally agree with the artist who did the mural saying that the Mavs need to give Luca help. They definitely do. It's funny, Mark Cuban called that person and said, please take the mural down. It's very disrespectful to the Mavericks. And it's like, no, Mark, you're just soft and in your feelings because players are telling the truth and saying that, or not players, but people in the Dallas community are telling the truth and saying that you need to get Luca help. Come on. And there we go. Nice clutch layup. Oh, and he gives a do about it. Um, Okay, let's see here. So the Mavs, I do think that they need help. They're definitely regretting the Brunson thing that they just let him walk for nothing. Seems like par for the course for them. Um, okay, let's get the show on the road here, Timberwolves. You're kind of sucking, or I should say, I am sucking. Um, I would just say the Mavs. Yeah, you know, there's the hard part is they don't have many picks because of the Porzingis deal to both the Knicks and the Wizards. Oh, a clutch McDaniels three. That is what we needed. So yeah, you know, I don't think that Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Tim Hardaway are exactly the pieces that you need. You know, JaVale McGee's been a nothing burger this season, and they thought that he'd be pretty decent, like he was last year in Phoenix. Um, they were really solidly like the fourth seed, and now they've lost like I feel like 8 out of 10 or something like that. So they're like barely above all those teams in the mix between like the sixth seed and the 12th seed um, because of their lack of good play. I think the Kings are up to like the three seed now or something crazy like that. Nas Reid, let's see it. Woo! Okay, free throws coming up. And then the Hawks. The Hawks are probably my second favorite team besides the Timberwolves. Dang it, Nas Reid. And so just disappointed that they really, you know, haven't been able to do much lately. Um, but you know, ever since they fired, or not fired, but ever since Travis Schlenk has left, they actually have gone on a little win streak. They were maybe about 2 games below 500, and I think now they're like 1 or 2 games above 500. DeJounte and Trey are figuring it out. John Collins is the most underused player in the NBA. But hey, you know, maybe they'll find a trade partner finally. The McDaniels offense. Oh, yikes. Probably an ill-advised shot there. Let's see what we can get going. No, Aaron Gordon. That's not your shot. You can't do alley-oops like that. Um, It's at about this point in the game where I realize Anthony Edwards is by far the best player, and I like just have been ignoring him offensively. Bad shot, but Nas Reid is there to clean it up. Right, Nas? Right, Nas? Right? Okay. Let's see, Ant. Oh, that is ugly. Three missed shots on offense straight. Um, okay, but back to the Hawks. Their GM quit or was fired. I don't remember, and they seem to be like trying to kind of salvage the situation, which is good. I really like that team roster wise. I wish they'd be willing to keep John Collins. I really like him. Capella's coming back from injury, so he's helping them improve a bit. Here we go. Ant Dunk, Ant Dunk. Nope. He's getting locked up by KCP. Unfortunate. Oh, KCP takes the screen fake and Jokic fouls. Or no, Aaron Gordon apparently. So we're going to the line. Let's see if we can make some free throws here. But I still have faith in the Hawks, despite a lot of people not having faith in them. Okay, so those are sort of my scattered, rambling stream of consciousness thoughts on the NBA right now. Really excited for the trade. I don't think that there's going to be major moves young for Karl Anthony Towns, like a lot of people have floated, or anything like that. But I think we're going to see a lot of moves around the edges, and particularly with my Timberwolves, we might see some interesting moves of like Nas Reid, Jalen Noel, D'Lo. They're all free agents at the end of the year, so who knows where they might end up if they do end up moving. Um, Other than that, let's kind of go free range and talk about the NFL or movies or whatever. So I would have to say the Oscar season is coming along, and if you haven't seen some of the good movies out there, go see them, like Banshees of Inisherin on HBO Max. Really like that. Um, Also, some other movies in the mix are Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's probably going to win Best Picture to a lot of people's surprise, and if you're wondering why, it's got a lot of things going for it. It's got um, a really unique story. It's got actors in it who have been in Hollywood for a while, but have never really got their proper recognition. In uh, Ki Key, I believe is his name, and Michelle Yeoh, who has been in the industry for a while. Both of them are in their 50s. They've been around for a long time, since like the 80s or 90s. And dang it, bad Gobert defense on my part. Along with that, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, who's been an industry vet and is really, well liked in Hollywood circles. So that movie could have what it takes to get across the finish line. I don't see the Fablemans winning. Spielberg has a lot of Oscars already. I don't think that a much more younger and diverse Academy is going to give him another one. Oh, they're going to intentionally foul us here. Interesting. Let's see, can Edwards come up clutch? Or, oh my gosh, how am I getting these perfect releases and it's not going in, people? Let me know in the comments if there's something I'm doing wrong or need to fix. Okay, he finally gets it there, even though I release it the exact same way, and this one is green and that one isn't. Anyways, Fableman's good film. I liked it. Sentimental. If you like the art of filmmaking, it'll be interesting to see how Spielberg kind of came up. It's basically as close to autobiographical as you can get without technically being autobiographical. It's the Fablemans instead of the Spielbergs. The movie could really just be called The Spielbergs and it'd be the same thing. The main character's called Sam instead of Steven, but the sentiment is right there. They're. Oh, shoot. Why did I intentionally foul there? Nas Reid, what are you doing, buddy? What am I doing? I think I was afraid of losing on some sort of a buzzer beater, so I want the ball in my hands versus theirs. Okay, let's call a timeout and figure out what we're going to do here. Everyone's on fire, so let's leave it in. Let's roll with it. Um, Other movies that I really liked that are in the mix for the Oscars, let's see here. I really loved The Whale, even though a lot of people seem to be against it. Not against it, I shouldn't say, but a lot of people seemed resistant to it, like because it tackles harsh subjects that a lot of people don't like to be kind of brought up in their day-to-day life, like obesity, which is a taboo subject, honestly. And I'm refusing to lose this game. I want to go to overtime, if anything. Oh, shoot. I almost said a swear word there, kids. Don't tell your parents. But yeah, Fableman's great. But I don't think it deserves to win at all. I am going in circles here. Let's just call the game. We're going to call the game. Tip in for Ant. Oh, no. Okay. Oh! We're not going to get that for us, are we? Damn it. All right, we're going to OT, where we're going to ride the hot hand of Reid himself. Let's do this thing. Come on, Nas. Any fun fact for anybody who doesn't know, his real name is Nas Rion. Yep. He told me that when we were hanging out. Just kidding. I was hanging out with Torian Prince, not with Nas. Okay, and we're off to the races. 3 minutes of OT to make it shine. What can we do here? I need to focus up. Can't be talking about the Fablemans and Banshees of Inisherin when I'm trying to win a game. The whale and all that. The whale was awesome. That was my last thought on that before I get totally off track and just on the game. Brendan Fraser, wonderful performance. That's all there is to it. Oh, Michael Cotta misses the first one. Michael Porter. Why am I thinking Michael Carter? That's the running back for the Jets. Okay, Ant, take us home. If you haven't noticed, I just love to do... Oh, shoot. We got Kyle Anderson in the game for Nas. That won't stand. Let's get our man Jokic in the mix. Or we can do a screen with a... Dive to the rim, McDaniels. What am I doing here, guys? Got to tighten it up. Got to focus in. Good rebound, Gobi. I don't think anybody calls him Gobi, but I'm calling him that now. That's his new nickname. All right, the biggest bet of the night. Can Anthony Edwards make 2 free throws even when I have a perfect release? Oh, shoot. Oh! Anthony Edwards pulls my bacon out of the fire, even with a bad release. And there we go. A perfect one for the second. We take the lead. You know, you guys would rather hear my voice than the announcers anyways. Clark Kellogg. Clark Kellogg hasn't even announced a real NBA game in years. Clark Kellogg, he's on this 2K game. He's only ever on March Madness, I feel like, unless he's a home team supporter that I'm unaware of. The Gobert intimidation factor there, folks. All right, point Kyle. Point Kyle. Let's call out the plays. We're going to go floppy. Let's see what we can get out of this, Kyle. All right, the Ant back screen. Let it ride. Let it ride, Ant. Woo! Look at that. 4-point lead. Feeling good. He's up to 14 points. D'Lo with an astonishing 0. McDaniels with 3. Gobert with 9. Anderson with 2. We are really getting carried hard by one Anthony Michael Edwards. JK, that's not his middle name. Made that up. All right. We're going to run the offense through McDaniels, the missing link of this whole team. Look at that little hezzy, and he's going to take it. Oh, come on, D'Lo. Go up for the rebound. What am I doing with that shot with McDaniels? I'm freaking messing around way too much. Oh, and that's where it comes back to bite me. Michael Small Ears Porter. Yes, have you ever looked at Michael Porter's ears? They're frighteningly small. Oh, and here we go. Ant draws a foul again. Yippee-ki-yay. All right, will he make both of them? 1. Nice. Come on, Anthony. 2. Yes, there we go. All right, so we need good defense here, so I'm going to do something crazy. Goodbye, D'Lo. Hello, Kyle. You're our new point guard. And we're going to put in 56 on defense. Sorry, that's not going to cut it. We're going to put in Nas because Nas Reid is life. Hey, and I'm on Hall of Fame difficulty, so don't think I'm a scrub at this game. There's my 2K insecurity coming out. But yeah, let's see here. Okay, we got Aaron Gordon. He's gonna pop it into Murray. No, to the heartbeat of the team, Bruce Brown. Really good player in a role player capacity. Uh oh. Get the ball away from that man. We do not want him getting fouled. Kyle Anderson, ride it out for us, man. All right, we're going to do the most tried and true play of the game. A classic Rudy Gobert P&R. Can we get it to him? Can we get it? Rudy? You failed me once again, Mr. Gobert. You failed me once again, but at least we still got our defensive lineup out there. Jokic is not waiting. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, that was close to disaster. Okay, now we're going to put in our spacing lineup because we clearly need that. So here we go. Noel, you're in the game now suddenly. All right, let's see if this team can make it shine. All right. He's still got to make 2 more, so we have some room to play with. Wait, what? That wasn't a three-pointer? Okay, we'll take it. And D'Lo gets fouled. Can D'Lo put up his first points of the game and seal this thing? We should probably sub our guys out. I know there's a faster way to sub, by the way. I just like to do it this way. I feel like it makes me feel like I'm more in control of the goings-on of the game. So don't at me, as the kids might say. Okay, D'Lo. Nice. Good job, chap. He nails it for us. And we've got a... With that, I will take the chance to take D'Lo out and put Nazarene in the game. Good job, Nazarene. Kyle Anderson's going to be our point guard because don't question me on it. All right. Nas. Guard the inbound, Nas. Here we go. He doesn't know who to get it to. Oh, it's into Jamal. How fitting that Anthony Latrell Edwards. Just kidding. His middle name is Burton. He just needs to make 1 of these, but 2 automatically seals the game. And as every good game does, this game ends on free throws. Just kidding. But there you have it. Another comeback win, much like the last Warriors game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Real quick, we can go over some of the standings. Oh my gosh, that's loud. Let's see here. Ant with 18 points. Surprisingly, 11 of which on free throws. And then we had Gobert with 11 rebounds, D'Lo with some assists, no steals, Gobert 2 blocks, and no surprise, Jokic did good for them. All right, had fun, guys. Hope you got some enjoyment out of this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.